We from Philly.
If you don't know, we run these streets the same way the birds run that NFC East. Giants is weak, Skins is trash. Cowboys every season whoop that ass. Look, it ain't no competition. We here for those who listen. Want nothing but the facts. That ego coalition. We could give two fucks about your trash ass team. Our concern is about that black, that white, that midnight green. The feathers on the helmet, bruh, our hearts indebted. Fly Eagles fly, what it's about, bruh. I said it, look up.
But I just gotta know one thing.
Kana.
Are you ready?
Goes into a long...
No! I said, are you ready?
Kana goes into a long count. Straightens up. Takes the snap. Here comes the rush. He's hit, and it's intercepted. It's picked off by Robinson. Robinson at the 30, cuts back across the field. Patrick Robinson looks for a block. Now he's at the 20, he's at the 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown! Patrick Robinson!
We're going to the fucking Super Bowl, motherfucker!
What's up? Home of the National Football Conference champions, Philadelphia! We are live, broadcasting from the beautiful new media studios right outside of Philadelphia. Welcome to the 4th and Jawn Philly Influencer Joint. And I never in my wildest dreams thought I'd say it. The 4th and Jawn Super Bowl preview show. Part 1, baby. Part 1. This team is on the verge of doing something that has never been done before. This team is on the brink of making history. This team is on the cusp of changing everything forever. For every Dallas fan that has ever looked you in the eye and told you how many rings you got, for every jerk-off at your office that has sent you an empty meme of an empty trophy case, for every person that has told you that your team ain't about shit, this team is on the verge of changing everything. And you can't tell me that this Super Bowl means more to the New England Patriots than it does to the Philadelphia Eagles. It means more to us than anybody. This is just another ring on another finger for Tom Brady. This is just another parade for some snot-nosed little punk who doesn't even know what tough times look like. This is for every Eagles fan who has sat out there in the cold, the wet, and the rain and didn't bitch about it. This is for every Eagles fan that was a season ticket holder since Franklin Field. This is for every Eagles fan that has had to put up with the Giants and the Cowboys and the Redskins bullshit. This is for Donovan. This is for Jaworski. This is for Cunningham. This is for Brown. This is for Reggie White. This is for Harold Carmichael. This is for Trotter. Everybody, this is for us right here, right now, because we are going to the Super Bowl! And I don't want to be one of those rude, animal, undisciplined, jerk-off Eagles fans like we've been portrayed. So, Gail, if you don't mind, I would like to introduce our guest first, if that's okay with you, my friend. Fighting out of the red corner, representing PhillyInfluencer.com. You can see him on Fox 29, Mr. Sean Bray.
Dude, you got me ready to go. I wish this game was tonight. What an intro. What an introduction by you, man. You nailed it. It's for everybody. It's for the previous players, decades of players, coaches that have never hoisted the Lombardi. Unbelievable intro by you, and you're so right. This is for everybody.
Thank you very much, sir. And up next, first time I get to work with this gentleman, but always have appreciated his work. Also from PhillyInfluencer.com, Mr. T. Tony!
I don't know how you follow. You just made all it worth it today dealing with all these Minnesota trolls on Twitter. So I appreciate it. I really do.
You are certainly welcome. And a veteran of the 4th and Jawn podcast, Mr. Adrian Fedq. How are you today, sir?
I am doing fantastic. The Eagles are in the Super Bowl, damn it. They made it. They're there. We got one more game. One more game.
Unbelievable. Gail was there. We met out in the parking lot. But as you have that, dare I call it, shit-eating grin on your face that I've grown to know and love so much, Mr. Eagle Sessions on Twitter, how the fuck are you today?
Still in shock and awe a little bit, but that gut feeling has become a fucking reality. I'm waking up with that gut feeling for so damn long, and it's finally here. It's like surreal, you know what I'm saying? I mean, but then if you look at this game in a microcosm on the plays that were made, whether it was touchdown or turnover, you got to give hats off to this football collective, the Brain Trust, Howie Roseman, Douglas, Lurie, all of them. Chris Long makes that play, brings the pressure, knocks Case Keenum's arm down. Who catches it? I mean, Chris Long is a cast-off.
Cast-off.
A cast-off.
A Patriots reject, dare I say.
A retread. Mm-hmm. Patrick Robinson on a one-year deal makes the interception. The guy who makes the block, Ronald Darby. I mean, it's a pick six for a fucking touchdown. I take an elbow on the back of my head by a fucking Eagles fan, and I finally see the touchdown. But, I mean, talk about Derek Barnett, a rookie.
How appropriate, too.
You know, bending off the motherfucking edge, Derek Barnett. And making plays. Torrey Smith, a guy who's been written off by half the fan base. On this show, we talked about Torrey Smith coming up and making a big play somewhere down the line in this playoffs, and he did. Yeah. Fucking Alshon Jeffrey.
Yeah. 2
tutties, showing what his worth is. Another guy, Nick Foles. Nick Foles fucking played the ball game of his life, and he played for this city. And all that's being said, these guys weren't on the fucking team last year. So for this Brain Trust to bring these guys together, and with the foundation that they've laid for this team of leadership, leaders of men, and Doug Peterson bringing it all together as one unit, you got to be fired up, man. And thank you, Philadelphia Eagles. Woo! We're going to the fucking Super Bowl.
Absolutely. Philadelphia, the home of the underdog and the home of the players that nobody wanted, overcoming all odds and getting the job done when the odds are stacked up against them. We've got some Bud Lights here in the studio. May I crack these sons of bitches open and give a little toast to our 2017 Philadelphia Eagles for getting the job done. Dilly.
Hey, Trot, could you get me one?
Oh, man. The man had the speech, and we left him out of the toast. Don't worry.
I want to say this to you, though, and it's funny. All the bitching that Minnesota did, right? And now they have to welcome us.
Oh, man.
Is that not right?
That is rough.
So wrong.
That is rough.
As they're painting the field today, and I put that tweet out there. It might have been my number one tweet I've ever had in my life, the way it just went off. People were just retweeting. And I don't know, I came across it on Facebook, but they started painting the field. And it just hit me. I was like, damn, now Minnesota has to deal with us again? Oh, that sucks.
Oh, trust me. Speaking of retweets and mentions and shit blowing up, that little black and whiter I did today. Ugh. Wow.
Good Lord, man. But you hit it out of the park again. Yep. You took everything I was feeling, and you did it. Like, you're 100% right, to the point that, you know what? We did have a bunch of idiots down there.
Yeah.
And that's not for now. You know, who even cares? You know, like, but
well, we're gonna get to
sure,
it.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
but
it's gonna come.
But you said you said it. You know what? But guess what? You came down here. You went to the Rocky Steps. You took the pictures. You can't piss on our doorstep and then act like we're gonna ignore that. That's not how it works here in Philly. So screw you.
I had a great explanation from a Vikings fan who hit me up on Twitter about all that. And we'll get to that. That's what you call a little teaser. Brace knows that in the business. That's what you call a teaser.
Who's that? Mike Greenberg over there?
Easy. He has more hair than I do. Hey, working the social media today is our boy Philly Mike. Philly, how you feeling today?
One more time, y'all. One more time.
We are going to the Super Bowl, baby!
Yo, Sunday night was unbelievable. The tailgate was unbelievable. Top notch. Everything. The game was unbelievable. A freaking blowout. The Vikings fans could kiss my ass, could kiss all of our asses. We're going to freaking Minnesota, taking over their house and bringing home that trophy, brothers.
Say it with your chest. Absolutely, absolutely. I love it. And next up is our intern, Lacey. Lacey, how you doing?
I'm good. I don't even know. I feel cocky.
I
feel a little cocky. Saturday, I don't know why. I thought this was going to be a really close game, just really defensive game, and just a low score, like 13-10, I think I said. And I don't know why, but I was just sitting at home Saturday, and I thought, you know what? I really, really want a game where they come into our city, and I want them to be like, oh, you know, I'm going to take over. Don't worry about it. And then I want them to think, oh, you're going to do what? In our city?
Yep.
I don't think so. And guess what? It's exactly what happened.
Exactly what happened. It's exactly what happened.
I can't even tell you.
Say it with your chest.
That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you, I feel cocky. I really do.
I love it. I love it. And next up, working the soundboard is our boy Evan Bubblegum here, who I know has a lot to say. How are you, my friend?
What's up, B? Dude, I haven't taken the smile off my face since the clock hit 0-0, man. And even before that, when the clock hit 0-0 at the end of the third quarter, that game was over. I got to be honest, like, going into the Atlanta game, I was a little bit nervous about that. I was so confident going into this Vikings game. I didn't think it was going to be a complete stomp out, but I thought we were going to handle our business. Dude, did Nick Foles fucking handle his business, man?
God.
My God, he was a man possessed. I got to be honest, man. This is some divine intervention that's going on right now. You know what I mean? Dude, like, this energy that's going on in the city right now. I was around during the 2008 Phillies World Series. Me and Mike were talking about this before the show. The energy that's in the city right now that is just behind this team, it's even stronger than when the Phillies won, man. And, like, I really think that, and to take the words out of Jalen Ramsey's mouth, we're going to Minneapolis, and we're going to win that motherfucker.
Oh, yeah. I love it. I love it. Listen, we got two shows, obviously, because there's 2 weeks before the Super Bowl. We're going to break down the X's and O's and get down to the nitty-gritty, the matchup with the New England Patriots coming up next week. What I want to do right now is really, because we're fresh off of this heading to Minneapolis, heading to the Super Bowl, we're still pumped with emotions, is hear the stories. Hear the feelings, not only from the people in the studio, but tweeting us at 4th and Jawn, and on the phone lines. I already see the phone lines are starting to light up, and trust me, we're going to get to all of you guys because we want to hear from you. But let me open it up with a little story, all right? Because I've missed all of about 2 games at Lincoln Financial Field during my time as a season ticket holder for the Philadelphia Eagles. And every time I exit that stadium for the last time, whether it be in a disappointing playoff loss or whether it be a disappointing end of the regular season, I always do what I like to call the Lincoln Financial Field shuffle, which is that slow, shuffling walk towards the exits with my head down, and I always think to myself, exactly. I always think to myself, EROCK, I don't talk to myself in the third person, by the way. I always think to myself, Eric, remember this moment. Because despite the fact that you're going home disappointed right now, it is going to be a long time before you're back into this stadium again. And I don't remember every walkout, but I always remember thinking to myself, remember this because it's going to be a long time till you come back. There's only been twice, I just turned 36, twice in my life where I've been able to walk out of that stadium with my head held high. And Sunday, I had my head held high.
Yes, you did.
I had my chest out, and I was high-stepping out of that stadium like Deion fucking Sanders headed to the end zone. What an unbelievable feeling.
Prime time.
Now, I'm gonna ask around, and I want everybody to be honest with me. Did you get a little choked up?
Oh.
Did you? Hold on. We'll go around. Did you get a little teary-eyed? Because I mentioned my grandfather for the first time, which honestly is a little bit of a surprise to me last time on this podcast, and he was kind of the first Eagles fan. And I ended up sitting There were 2 empty seats. I couldn't believe there was 2 empty seats right behind my parents.
Oh, man.
So during the celebration, I was right there with him, and I took a look at what used to be my seat and what used to be his seat, and I started to well up because he wasn't there. There have been Eagles fans that have lived their entire lives without knowing the feeling of a Super Bowl championship. When I go back to the intro and I talk about this is what this team is on the cusp of doing, that's what they're doing. They're about to make history. Not only that, I also welled up too because my mother says, look at all the confetti. Because did I disconnect it?
Yep.
I'm sorry.
You good?
My mother said, look at all of this confetti sprinkling down. Because we were on the upper level seats and the confetti kind of blew up in an almost mystical rain formation and started raining down on the upper level. And I went, look, I picked up some of it. And I go, look, it's green. I still have some. I shit you not. I still have some. I was picking up confetti for like 5 minutes from the Super Bowl. I still got confetti, and it's green. So I want you to go around the room. Be honest with me. I'm going to start with you, Adrian. Did you tear up on me? Did you tear up?
Oh, it got a little teary out there at the end. And how can you not? You think about this story and what this team has gone through. A month ago, we said no shot. This wasn't going to happen. Carson Wentz went down. Everybody is doubting us. So I found myself rooting for a Super Bowl even more after Carson Wentz went down. This is going to be potentially the greatest underdog sports story of all time. All time. This is a typical Philadelphia story. It is. It's a Rocky movie come to life. And when you start thinking about that and what this team has gone through, all the perseverance, everything, how can you not get teary-eyed? How can you not? Doug Peterson has to hear it from Michael Lombardi for 2-3 years. And to see what he did with Nick Foles, 26 of 33, 350-plus yards, 3 touchdowns, 10 of 11 on third down, 159 yards, 2 touchdowns. He RPO'd the Vikings to death. Unbelievable performance. Doug Peterson, this whole team, amazing.
By the way, I collected back up my confetti that I sprinkled on the ground because it's
I was going to keep a piece.
No. It snows in Mexico more than it rains confetti in Philadelphia. Yes. So that's some special little pieces of tissue paper right there. Tony, your emotions after the game. Where were you? Your emotions after the game?
Well, actually, I have 3 kids at home, right? So I had something planned, right? So my 10-year-old says, "Dad, you really going to go out for the game? Can you just stay home?" And I'm like, all right, how do you not, right? So I was like, all right. So we had a little party, the 3 of us, and my son's sitting there with homemade signs saying "Go Eagles," and when they're winning, I'm just sitting there, and I said, "Don't listen, dude. If they score on this first drive in the third quarter, this game's over." And he's like, "Dad, there's no way." I'm like, "I'm telling you, the game's over." So I don't sit in an Eagles game. I'm standing, my hands crossed, pacing back and forth in my living room. My son's jumping up and down on the sofa. My other son's jumping up and down the sofa. My wife's having a fit because there's trash everywhere, which is even better. Okay? And I started to well up a little bit. And then my son was like, "Dad, why are you crying?" I'm like, "Man, I'm 39 years old. Guess what? When you get to be 30 and you go on this trail for another 20 years, you're going to find out what this means." So absolutely. If you couldn't tear up at that game, it's something I always remember, and it was a great, great moment, man. Absolutely.
You know, it's a wonderful thing to watch your kids come up. So I'm a father as well, a father of 2. It's an amazing thing to start to see the gleam in your children's eyes as they see this Eagles team go to the Super Bowl. Yep. I had my kids at the tailgate. It was my son's first tailgate. And the only thing I wanted to do there, and I downloaded The Lion King before the game, the Lion thing. I stood up on my beer bong ladder, and I held him out to the crowd like Simba. So when you're gonna win a Super Bowl, Mr. Sean Brace.
Yeah, I didn't cry because I was getting my ass kicked as far as working is concerned. But when you pulled out the confetti out of your wallet, it did remind me that I bought a 50-50 ticket. So if you could find out if I won, I have no idea. I had 100, and I would imagine, just so you know, the Falcons game, they set an NFL record for the most money made at an NFL 50-50.
And
Eagles
how much
game.
was that?
It was like 186.
Guess how much? Guess how much it was when they announced.
The girl said it was over. She said it's going to be over 200. Was it over 200?
$250,000. $225.
Wow. Well, they set the record again, and I don't know if it was claimed. So could you find out if it was sold?
I don't know either. But if Sean Brace is holding the winning ticket right now, we're all going to the dinner. We're all going to the dinner afterwards.
Yes,
and we're going to the fucking Sizzler. Too.
Yeah. We going out. It's on me. I just want to say this, and I'll pass the mic. But so after the game, I was running basically interviews inside the locker room. They ran my one interview, but it wasn't about me. It was just microphone in front of Alshon Jeffrey, whatever, or Zach Ertz, excuse me. But I tweeted this out yesterday. I talked to 9 players, 4 on offense, 5 on defense. You name them. Basically, I spoke to them. Alshon, Jenkins, whatever. The 2 guys that stuck with me the most were Lane and Jenkins. But bottom line is everybody in that locker room, man, they just won the NFC Championship game, and it wasn't like it's over, it's celebrate. No, it was none of that. It was all about the next game. And I know it's cliche, but for a team that's been through it, that lost the starting quarterback in Week 13, that Jason Peters Hall of Famer, Jordan Hicks, go down the list, the naysayers, you could have been beating your chest, all that. There was none of that. It was, hey man, this is not done. We got one more to go. And I'm telling you right now, I'm giving it to you right now. The Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl.
I hear you.
They are going to win the Super Bowl. Buddy. I am not backing off that. You can give me the 5.5. I'll take the points, as I did against the Falcons, as I did against the Vikings. I'll take the points. But the Eagles are going to end the drought next week in Minnesota.
And that's so refreshing hearing you kind of saying in the locker room what Doug Peterson has really been preaching the entire year, which is one game at a time, and what we've been trying to echo inside of this room on this podcast, each one of these playoff games. And I said it, God damn it, I fucking said it when we were at Bucks County Baseball Company. I said, if you just take this thing one game at a time, the one opponent in front of you, you are going to blink and be exactly where you want to be in Minneapolis. I said it from day one of the playoffs, and here we are. Now
surprise, motherfucker!
Surprise! Now they gotta do it, and they've got the GOAT going up against them, in both Belichick and Brady. But this is going to be the ultimate test. Listen, I was kind of rooting for the Jaguars. I wanted to see the Jaguars because they're cut from the same cloth as like the Vikings, and I figured if we can beat the Vikings, we can beat the Jags. But wouldn't it be so much more satisfying to send the GOAT out to the sunset?
Does he look like a bitch?
To old Yeller, that son of a bitch, and put him out to pasture once and for all.
I mean, that Uggs wearing motherfucker. Yeah, I mean, if you want to beat the best, you got to beat the best.
Damn right. Absolutely.
I mean, get that fucking grin off Belichick's face as the confetti drops again. I mean, that would be a beautiful moment.
Somebody's going to have to go out there and collect some confetti.
I know, for you.
Yeah, I need to start a collection. Gail, you were there. You had a standing room only ticket. We talked briefly as we exited and into the parking lot.
Yeah.
But it was more of a glossy-eyed, looking at the stadium, just 2 kids like, wow. Like, we didn't even really get the chance to speak. What was that experience like for you, being at the game, standing? First of all, where'd you stand?
I stood, I don't even know where I stood. It was on the east end.
Okay.
But I was telling the story before you got here.
Late.
I got here early. I got there early to get a spot. So I'm basically playing Joel Embiid boxing all these drunk motherfuckers out. So they're the first play when they intercepted that ball. I took an elbow to the back of my head, and I think I might have been concussed because I felt it yesterday.
Really?
So and then when I came to, he ran it back for the touchdown. So then these guys are screaming in my ear all game long, and they're screaming to the left side of me. And there's a brother and a sister and a mother. They got there very early, and I'm like, are they screaming in your ear? She's like, my kids are deaf. So they're signing to each other, and I'm high-fiving deaf people. And they're like, yeah, like not even really saying shit, but it was like this weird moment of drunk people on the right side and deaf people on the left side, and it was just. For every play, I had to box out and see what I was doing. So it was really weird. But when it got down to the moment where when it hit me, when it was happening, I started to choke up, and it's like 5 minutes to go. I was like, "This is in the bag. Now I gotta have a moment for myself." I walked over down by the staircase. I'm looking over the city skyline, and I start tearing up. I'm like, "This is. I've been waiting for this. My blood, sweat, and tears. The Eagle fan is now." it's hit me. I'm walking the hallways of the link, just sitting there like mouthing like we're going to the fucking Super Bowl. And when it hit 0, my dad fucking calls me. He's like, "Son, going to the fucking Super Bowl, son." So it was a good moment, and I got closer to the field and just I looked at everyone's faces. You know, everyone's faces were, just like mine. So I mean, it's just amazing, man.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Absolutely. And you know what? It was amazing to experience that with you, man.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. Long road.
Yep.
In the beginning, I said there's no way that I ever would have thought on 4th and Jawn that I would be standing up screaming into the microphone that this is the 4th and Jawn Super Bowl it's still, I still don't think we fully wrapped our head around what exactly happened. Philly Mike, what was your experience?
Well, the tailgate was nuts as usual. And then right after tailgate, it was like a real pain in the ass. Lacey was the MVP and drove me and a few other people to her house to watch the game because we know the experience from last week when we tried going to Xfinity, we couldn't even get in. So we went to Lacey's house to watch the game. I'm not going to lie, when it was 7-0, the Vikings quickly scored. The house was crickets. No one said a word. But after that interception by Robinson, everybody was jumping off their feet, screaming. And then once the Eagles kept on, dominating from there, I literally T-bowed right in front of the TV. I was like, holy shit, this is freaking happening. I started sobbing, right when it was, I would have to say, right in the beginning of the 4th quarter, I was like, holy shit, this is happening. We're going to the fucking Super Bowl.
Lacey.
So, like Mike said, we ended up at my house after I almost fought some teenagers because we ended up in that part of the tailgate parking lot. And so I ended up with Mike and Chad, Chizzy, if you're listening, hello. And then I brought JJ, Free, if you know who he is, and Nicole. But we ended up at my house, and it took us trying to get down Broad Street. And so we were so nervous. We were going to miss kickoff because we ended up leaving at 6 o'clock. So we get to my house, and like Mike said, it was crickets, and then it was just insane. We were all jumping around. And I think my first tears came, I'm going to say after the second Alshon touchdown.
Yep.
And that's when it really started to hit me. So JJ and Nicole Ubered back to Philly, and they were like, you know what, we're going to go. And I said, I just want to stay and watch the ceremony and the lifting of the trophy. And I don't know, I think Mike got a video of me. I ended up sitting on the floor right in front of the television. And I had a water bottle, like a little kid.
Yeah.
And I had a water bottle in my hand. And we were just talking, me and Mike, and we were both just so emotional. We were crying our eyes out, and we didn't even care. We were like, you know what? I don't care. No shame. And so I don't know why, but the knee, the final knee just killed me. I threw my water bottle at the ground, and I started screaming my head off. And my sister called me, and my sister moved to Atlanta, so she called me, and then my parents came in and were screaming their heads off. They went to a bar, and it was just such a surreal moment.
Awesome. Evan, how was flipping pizzas?
Oh, dude, it fucking sucked. But first things first, let's see if Brace is treating us all to Super Bowl tickets here for a second. All right, you ready?
What's the number?
Numbers 2, 4, 1, 6, 3, 3, 0.
No.
No, you didn't.
No way.
You're lying.
Brace.
No way.
I'm fucking with you. That's
Oh, put him to sleep. Put him in a fucking bathroom. Put him in a
Are you fucking kidding? Look at that. I gave you this? Yeah. Son of a bitch.
Oh my God! I can't believe what the fuck I just saw.
That's some real trolling.
Evan!
Grade A trolling right there.
And I'm like, I got 3. It says 0. I'm gonna fucking run for this wall. You sick! I gave this to you. You had it. I didn't even.
Who knew?
We're going to Disney World, baby!
Put him in the bathroom! Your face, man. Was
Who knew?
I could give you the real numbers. Maybe you actually. All right, the real numbers are 2299925.
You Who knew that Evan Bubblegum here was gonna have the troll of the century?
Grade A troll.
Wow.
That was like blowing me.
Yo, I bought it. I bought it.